Hey everyone. Today's presentation is about nuclear bombs and what goes on inside the reaction and what components are necessary to achieve the chain reaction required for nuclear fusion. So, all nuclear weapons use fission to generate an explosion. The first weapon ever used was during the war times. It worked by shooting a hollow uranium-235 cylinder at a target of the same material. Um, each piece by itself was not enough to constitute a critical mass, but by colliding the pieces, critical mass was reached and the fission chain reaction occurred. Modern nuclear weapons work slightly different. Critical mass depended on the density of the material. As the density increases, the critical mass decreased. Instead of colliding the two subcritical pieces of nuclear fuel, modern weapons detonate critical explosives around a subcritical sphere. The sphere was uranium-235 or plutonium-239 metal. The force from the blast is directed inward, compressing the pit or the sphere by bringing its atoms closer together. Once dense enough to reach the critical mass, the neutrons are injected, initiating a fission chain reaction and producing an atomic explosion. In fusion weapons, the energy from an initial fission explosion is used to fuse hydrogen isotopes together. The energy released by the weapons creates a fireball that reaches several tens of million degrees, temperatures in the same range as the center of the sun. The explosions used in thermonuclear weapons are often described as a primary and secondary. However, the actual mechanisms are considerably more complicated. For example, a pure fission primary is inefficient. The plutonium pit will blow itself apart before most of the plutonium-239 can fission. Instead, the reaction can be boosted by including hydrogen gas in the center of the hollow pit. As the surrounding plutonium fissions, the hydrogen gas undergoes fusion and releases neutrons, including additional fission. Similarly, the secondary doesn't consist purely of fusion fuel. Layered within its fission, a spark plug, consisting of either plutonium-239 or uranium-235. As the primary explosion compresses the fuel from the outside, the spark plug material becomes supercritical and fissions, heating the hydrogen from the inside and facilitating further fusion reactions. Fusion releases neutrons. These neutrons hit a layer of uranium surrounding the fusion fuel, causing atoms in it to fission. The fissioning generally contributes more than half of the weapon's total explosive yield. Thermonuclear weapons that don't include uranium blanket are called neutron bombs, as the neutrons freed by the fusion are released from the weapon. Neutron bombs therefore create a large amount of radiation than a normal weapon of the same yield. During the Cold War, such weapons were considered use against tank attacks, with the goal of disabling the tank crews without having to physically destroy the tank. That is kind of nuclear bombs in a nutshell. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you. Have a good one.